What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Appreciate everybody who's able to make it in. Make sure you hit that like button, and if you have not already joined, please make sure you subscribe and join Cafe de Paris family. I also have a second co-ed channel specifically for ladies. In the event the women prefer to go to a channel in which there's a safe space for women, I have my women's only channel known as Mocha's Ladies Lounge. You're welcome to subscribe over there as well. And if this is your first time checking out the content ever and you like what you hear today, make sure you subscribe. It's free unless you want to do membership, which is only $3 a month. Also, if anybody wants to donate to the movement, please hit the Cash App instead of the super chat, because super chat, it takes forever and it's real like just crazy. But nevertheless, anyone that's willing to donate anything, that's fine. But if you cannot donate, just hit the like button, show support. That means way more, if anything, right? So let's get into it right away. It's after 10 o'clock where I'm at, but this story was one that definitely was wrestling with me, and I want to share it with you all if you have not already heard about it. But this has gone viral, and it's very unfortunate that this young man made a decision that is going to forever impact not only his career, but his integrity, his self-respect, and a legacy in which he was granted and blessed with an opportunity that many black men are not fortunate to have. Former college football player who had basically was granted with the blessing of being able to get drafted into the NFL. And as we know, the odds of that happening is very slim. And he was one of the ones that was fortunate enough to beat those odds. Well, unfortunately, even though he beat those odds, the problem is he got caught physically assaulting his girlfriend, whom he had only known for 1 month, after she made the decision to dump him. Nevertheless, he did not take rejection well, and this is the problem when you deal with men and women in general who are overachievers. By the way, anything I say in this content is based off of my own opinion for educational and entertainment purposes only. Furthermore, this channel is very non-biased. I go in on men and women, so if this is your first time here and you think I'm a divester or you think I'm a dick rider or whatever the case is, that's far from the truth. I give it to both. I give it to both men and women. I give both the business, especially when you have done something that is definitely immoral and unjustifiable. I give everybody the business here, okay? Just in case you're one of those red pill or divestor sisters who come in here, right? Just taking one content and running with it and figure you got me all figured out and you've never even watched any of my other videos. But anyway, so this young man goes by the name of Quay Davis, and I'm going to pull up some information on him, y'all, because I am not really a sports fanatic, y'all. So, I had to look all of this up and try to get some more information on him, y'all. But he really messed himself up really bad. So the video has gone viral, and when I tell you the video is very, very disturbing, I would not be able to show it here. As a matter of fact, I thought that if I was willing to take that chance to at least play some of the video, but after watching other content creators who also commented on this, none of them had included the actual footage in their content. So that was a red flag right there that, okay, that's something I don't need to do either. And honestly, it's very, very disturbing. All you have to do is just look up the video, Quay Davis or Quay Darius Davis attacks girlfriend. The video is viral, it's everywhere, so you're welcome to look at that at your own leisure. Matter of fact, it may be better that you actually pause this video and go take a look at the video that has gone viral of Quay Davis. And once you have viewed that video for yourself, then you can come back and continue with the rest of the commentary, so it'll all pretty much make sense to you. But nevertheless, the video is viral and it is very, very disturbing. The best way I can describe it is looks like they was in an apartment complex, and she was basically running for her life, trying to get away from him. And being that he was on demon time, he ran behind her, chased her down. And fortunately, there was a door cam there. And you know, a lot of these apartment complexes have door cam because things happen. People stealing packages, all kind of stuff now. So a lot of apartment complexes, they keep that door cam. And fortunately, in this case, it was a blessing for her that that door cam was there and captured the whole event as it unfolded. So he chased her down, and being that he's bigger than her and stronger than her, and this young lady, she looks like she probably weighs like $110 or $105, very petite, kind of like Jada Pinkett size, just very, very petite. And he came behind her and literally took his arm and was strangling her beyond capacity, to the point to where she peed on herself and her body went limp. I think I will show at least the photo of it. It's a still shot, so I will show that momentarily. But he basically was attempting to unalive her, to the point to where her body went limp and she passed out. And that's when, at that point, he basically halfway dragged her just near the staircase where the incident was occurring, and he left her there for dead. And he proceeds and goes upstairs as if nothing had happened. Didn't look back and check on her well-being. Didn't look back to see if she was still breathing. Pretty much as if he was content or satisfied with his actions, because anybody who had any real concern or had any real regrets would have at least looked back and checked on that individual, and he did no such a thing. And if you watch the video, you will see that. Oh, I'm so silly, y'all. I forgot. I actually got it here in the thumbnail. Yeah, so this is the, I forgot I put it in the thumbnail. So this is the actual still shot of when he was attacking her. Is far worse if you watch it live. But that is the still shot in which he came behind her. And as you can see, he's a big guy. And he strangled her. He literally almost strangled her to death. And like I said, if you see the video, it will definitely be very disturbing. Trigger warning. But basically, he left her there. And what happened was, by the grace of God, because even though the devil has his own plans, God has his own plans. She survived. She was able to get up, even though I'm sure she was very distraught. And her body was in a culture shock. She was able to get up and walk away and basically report it. So this is where it is, y'all. Former Southern University wide receiver and NFL hopeful Quay Davis, they also call him Quay Davis, age 22, has been arrested for domestic abuse after his girlfriend of 1 month, Jayana Monnier, accuses him of punching and choking her in video upon breaking up with him over lies about his previous domestic violence case with his baby mother. So also allegedly, he has done this prior to the mother of his child. Okay, so he has a history of doing this, but due to YouTube, we have to say alleged, even though we all know that's not the case, because the proof is in the pudding. And he has a history of this. But keep the smoke down. I have to say alleged. On Saturday, April 12th, Monet took to her Instagram and X accounts to share surveillance footage. She further accused her former boyfriend, Davis, of brutally abusing her and leaving her unconscious, which he indefinitely did that. It's on the video footage. So she's captioning the minute video, and this was her response to the video that she shared for the world to see. Domestic violence is never okay. This man choked me until I passed out and peed on myself. He kicked my door down and punched me numerous times, all because I didn't want to be with him anymore. Quadravius Davis at Wake Me Up Too, basically she hashtagged him on her Instagram, is a Southern University college kid who is entering the draft this year. Well, he was. Anyway, he lied to me about his case with his baby mother and said she lied about him hurting, and said she lied about him hitting her. He later admitted that he did hit her and put her in the hospital. Dude got major issues. In a similar post on X, okay, so she posted it on X, not Instagram, which is the former Twitter, whatever. This was her update, I guess, after the video had already been circulating virally. She states, I'm okay. My downstairs neighbors got cameras and my upstairs neighbors got cameras pointed directly towards my door. Everything is captured. I called the police. My neighbors called the police, and I will be pressing charges. And no, I am not going back. She put that in caps. I'm the one who initiated the breakup because so many red flags were occurring. Thank God I'm alive. I'm so grateful. Yes, hun, definitely. The devil had a plot, but God had a plan, so he definitely kept you, honey. She also, I guess after everybody's seen the video, and I will tell you that it's very disturbing. A lot of the comments, there were a lot of individuals who was actually co-signing with Mr. Davis, and basically was saying that was something she probably did that caused him to be provoked. And let's just face it, everybody in this planet does not have a moral compass, right? So we can't get mad even if people agree to this type of shenanigans, because the truth is you do have a lot of men who think on this level, and they truly believe that a woman is property. She should sit down, shut up, know her place. And the thing about it was, this woman took the approach of putting her safety first. She left him, okay? She didn't go on social media blasting him, being a no good cheating dog. She didn't lie on him, and make up false things to ruin him. She basically called herself leaving the relationship gracefully in a peaceful manner. The man had too many red flags, and putting those red flags together, in addition to the fact that she confronted him about having abuse issues, the fact that he lied, then he turned around and admitted it, then he probably was, doing some narcissistic things that really raised her antennas. She realized, what, it's better for me to leave this ninja alone. Okay? And unfortunately, you have a lot of emotional dudes out here who cannot take no for an answer. But let me read what she said, y'all, right? This was after all the comments and people was basically trying to defend him and all of that. She said, and let me make one thing clear for the weirdo men in the back trying to justify chasing that NFL check. Babe, anyone who knows me knows I've always had my own. That's why men be so intimidated when they start effing with a B like me. I ain't. Never needed no man but God. I have my own business, my own hustle, my own crib, my own bills, my own credit cards, my own whip, my own mind. I'm not that B that needs $40, nor the one that relies on men, period, point blank. And if he was a ninja with an NFL check, Ish wasn't going to do nothing but make me a hustler even more. I came from to-go-getter ASS parents. Best believe it was never about the NFL check, because he ain't have one. That ninja admitted all the time that I had him when it came to financial situations. I'm the breadwinner. She further confirmed to X users that Davis was arrested after the alleged incident. She also said she plans on pressing charges. According to WAVB, Davis was booked into Tulsa County in Oklahoma on Saturday. He faces charges of first-degree burglary and domestic abuse and battery by strangulation. He is being held on a $20,000 bail. WAFB reports that the former SU wide receiver was dismissed from the football team in October 2024 for breaking team rules. The specific rule he broke is unknown at this time. However, a spokesperson with the school said he no longer has affiliation with SU athletics. I'm sure he doesn't. On April 5th, the NFL hopeful told Instagram that he was entering the transfer portal with 1 year of eligibility left. Alright, so guys, basically what's going on is the options of him, tongue-tied, the options of him going into the NFL, we know that's no longer an option. As Diddy, when that video with Diddy came out circulating about Cassie, even though his current charges have nothing to do with that, and even though he didn't get charged for what he did to Cassie, just the fact that the whole world was exposed to his hidden demons, this made it even more the while to convince everyone with his current charges, allegedly sex trafficking and all of that, and abuse and all of that, his character that was displayed through the world through footage of him and Cassie at that hotel, it tainted all of his credibility, even more so when he lied and said Cassie was tarnishing his character, was basically it's another word for it, but I can't think about it at this point in time. But basically, he lied and said that it was a money grab, and that people are just trying to taint his character. They're trying to scandalize his name and things of that nature. But when that footage came out, that killed all his credibility. At this point, it didn't matter if he had found the Lord and became saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. When we saw that footage, it was curtains. And even though we know in a perfect world that his current charges shouldn't have anything to do with that footage of him and Cassie, but and I know, we can't unsee what we have saw. We can't unsee what we seen. And that visual of him stumping and kicking and assaulting Cassie in the manner in which he did, it totally changed how we see Diddy as a producer, entrepreneur, a father, whatever good things that we thought we saw in him. That one video totally discarded all of that. And you think the jurors, you think the public opinion is not going to tarnish that man's legacy? It's already tarnishing it. You can't even mention his name without somebody trashing it. And his sons, his children, they dealing with the backlash of their father's character. So a good name is more valuable than diamonds, than rubies. If you don't have a good name, you ain't got nothing. That's going to be the same case with old boy Mr. Davis here. Even if he gets acquitted of all the charges, which I doubt it, but we know in a perfect world we live in, the law is always just, the law is always on point, and the law is always making sure guys, these millionaire or soon to be millionaire guys like this, get off the hook. We know in a perfect world, that rarely ever happens. Nevertheless, the problem is going to be his character. That video footage is going to follow him everywhere he goes. And we all know these big brands. We seen what happened with Diddy. All them sponsors went dropping Diddy like soap in a prison shower. down his own brand, Sean John. JCPenney got rid of all of his, items and products. Even the Sean John glasses and shades, eyeglass wear, these different eyeglass companies, they discarded all of those things. They wanted nothing to do. You can't be a star that's associated with all these brands, and once you get exposed with this level of scandal and ridicule, that there's no brands that are going to want to be associated with you, especially with this Me Too movement. He is good as cooked. But I'm not the only one who has an opinion on it, right? So I'm gonna play a couple of other short videos right quick, so y'all could also gain y'all own assessment. So let me get to it, y'all.
Okay, let me start this video off by saying domestic violence is never okay. And I am so proud of this young lady for speaking out, because the way that this young man choked her, he literally, she's off of her feet, and that's why I have this picture there. He choked her out until she used the bathroom on herself. The video is extremely graphic, and that is why I am not playing it here on TikTok. It is available on my YT channel. The link is in my bio as always. I never post graphic videos here on my page. But she has so much courage, and she is speaking out against Quay Davis. He is a Southern University college kid who is entering the draft this year. And she's saying that he choked her out until she used the bathroom on herself, which is on camera. A neighbor caught it on camera. He punched her numerous of times, all because she didn't want to be with him anymore. He allegedly had previous, domestic violence cases. You guys, domestic violence is never okay. Go and watch the video on my YouTube and come back and talk. Let's talk about it in the comments. Okay, let me start this video.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna stop that right there. I also have. Okay, so we're gonna come out of there, and also, because I want to share some other videos of other people who also commented on this as well.
I'm just glad this video was absolutely sad. I'm just glad that this woman made it out alive, because when it come to a lot of situations like this, a lot of black women don't make it out alive, and she barely made it out. Man, when I saw her hands, when he was choking her, when I saw her hands fall to her side like she had died, oh my God, a rage was built up in me. And he laid the body down and then just walked up the stairs. Man, a lot of these men out here, bro, don't have no soul, don't have no heart. They don't have no control over their emotions, man, and they'll take out their anger out on their women. But of course, a lot of men don't want to talk about that. They just brush that under the rug. They'll probably talk about a video of a woman cussing somebody out in the restaurant and be like, oh, look at that, that's the problem with women today, that they masculine and they cussing. To shut the fuck up. They avoid stories like this though. But yeah, may this man suffer for his sins, whether that means he don't get to go to NFL or whatever consequences he face. I'm just glad that the black woman got through this situation, because not a lot of black women make it out of these situations. So that's just my opinion on the whole story, man. Quadarius, if that's how you say his name, Davis, is trash. He's a pathetic excuse of a black man, and that's my opinion. This video was...
To choke a shawty to the point where she passed out because she breaks up with you has to be the most down low thing I ever heard in my life. The video is so bad that I can only have it posted on my Insta. So y'all go click on that and go look at it. Well, that's what happened with this football player, Quay Davis, who is on his final year of eligibility after he snatched up his girlfriend while they're having an argument outside. All this caught on cameras, by the way, so none of you guys can say she's lying. The video is crazy. Seems she told him that she wanted to cut ties, and after their little discourse, he proceeded to choke her in front of a Ring camera. Thank God the Ring camera was recording the whole transaction, because then you see that after she passes out, he continues. She is lucky to have her life right now, thank God. Allegedly, this has happened in the past with another woman, but also people pointed out that knowing that you're a grad transfer with only 1 year left of eligibility, why in the world would you do something like this? Regardless, she pressing charges, she's filed a police report, she sent in the video. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, can't nobody say, why you bringing it to the net? Can't nobody say nothing to her. She got her proof, she's suing, she blocked her. What do you guys think about this situation? To choke a shotty.
I also just want to show y'all a small segment of Mr. Quay, Quay Darius Davis. Not that he is nowhere near irrelevant, but this is just to kind of demonstrate that this is why you can't go by looks, you can't go by success, you can't figure because you encounter a person that has all of these skills and these abilities and got so much potential. You can't underestimate the demons behind the potential. So I just want to show y'all just a brief segment of him and his abilities as athletes and things of that nature. It ain't gonna be long because I don't even care for this dude enough to even give him too much of footage in this content. But I know a lot of y'all may not be familiar with him and who he is, so I'm going to show this to you guys, okay? And ladies.
Coming from the boot, you know what I'm saying? Big drill.
Now you guys get to come together and form like a super team, right? What's it been like with the rivalry and then coming together to form the super team?
On the rivalry, I'm gonna say this for Kelly not better than Texas, but hey, if like to be honest, Luke is he a great guy, you know what I'm saying? But coming together, hey, we unstoppable together, man.
You got an SC offer.
Yeah, I got a lot of them.
Right, and you get a ton of offers, but we're based out of SoCal, right?
Yeah.
What do the USC offer mean, and who are some of the guys from the SC program over the history of their years that you idolize?
Juju Smith.
Now you guys get to come together and form like a super
All
team, right?
So I'm going to come out of that. So guys, this is, and ladies, this is his page. This is him. Just want to show y'all a little bit more of him up close and personal. And of course, people are already going in on him. Told that girl I'm a star. That's why she can only see me at night. That's what's his little hashtag. And they already going in saying he looked like he beat women. Then somebody says fumbling a prominent career because you lack emotional control is crazy. You should be on a t-shirt RN. So stop beating girls up because y'all scared to come out the closet. I hope she got brothers, uncles, and cousins after him. Career over, my boy. Learn to respect women, little boy. Oh yeah, so he's they are really going in strong on his comment section, y'all. And this is him here as well. And yeah, nobody said nothing about this. So that's why really you can't go by looks, you can't go by talent. An abuser is an abuser. Just letting y'all kind of see a little bit. And this guy likes to strangle females until they pass out. Lord, he is not giving him no empathy or sympathy. And I don't blame him. Career overload, bro. Yep, you wrote that prison story all right. You beat on women. Well, you playing ball at this season. Okay, now I guess that was before those comments was earlier. But yeah, so seem very cocky, arrogant. You look real sassy standing here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that leg in the first pic told me everything I need to know. Y'all have no filter. He has, just because you got it don't mean you gon' pop. And somebody call him bussy boy. You hit females because you think you won. What a dang shame. I could never have no big Queen Latifah built bottom with brain damage think he could F with me. You know what? Let me get out of here. Let me go. Let me go ahead about my business, right? Okay. All right, so. All right, y'all. It's nothing, you know, I have a little entertainment with this, but as we are all know in real seriousness, nothing is entertaining about this. This is a very sad situation because the truth of the matter is he could have unalived this woman. He could have taken her life. And all of this over ego. That's what it has to do with. It has everything to do with ego. Because the truth is, the lane in which he was going with his career, he was going to meet thousands of females along the way. Let's just keep it a buck. Anytime you go into this profession as an athlete, as a rapper, anybody that's going to get celebrity status, sooner than later he was going to have more women flocking behind him. You know, black women, Puerto Rican, white, light skin, dark skin. We already know, you know, the groupie train was definitely going to enter the station. So the fact that he was that butt hurt that he had to go after this young lady and hunt her down like a dog, you know, and darn near choke out to the point she peed on herself, it just goes to show you how inferior he really felt, because any man who has self-integrity, has confidence, would have looked at it like this: hey honey, you just won in a million. Okay, you just a needle in a haystack. I'm getting ready to run up into some millions. I'm getting ready to sign this big time contract. If you decide to depart the station, I got another train coming. You know, I got another bus coming. He was going to have so many opportunities handed to him, from endorsements to women. I mean, just everything. His dreams was right there. He was right at the finish line. And you have guys who would give anything to have had that opportunity granted to them. But this is what I believe happened. Unfortunately, in many cases, when you have some of these dudes who become successful at something and they are overachievers, meaning their talents, their skills, their abilities have gotten them to a place in which they are used to basically winning, they think they can apply that same concept to everything, even women. You got a lot of these dudes who have this egotistical attitude of, because I'm top dog in this area and because I got so many people who praise and worship me as an athlete, I got people who look up to me, I have people that bow down to me, I have people who put me on a pedestal. If there's a woman I want, I feel she should feel the same way about me that everybody else does. This is the problem with being an overachiever. You don't think that you're supposed to fail at anything. You don't feel you're supposed to lose at anything. And guess what? Just because you top dog over here, and just because you get all this love, admiration, and praises over here, it does not mean that other people are going to humble themselves to you like you were God. And from what I can gather, this young man here was very arrogant, very cocky, though talented, and I have to say that, dude, you saw in the field, he could run his ass off, but the problem is he has narcissistic tendencies and he's abusive. He's capable of unaliving a woman. And if she wouldn't have got away, this woman would have not been able to share her story. We would have never known the truth had that video footage, and it's a great possibility that he can still get off even with that footage, because she has not been unalived. We see 1,000 cases like this every day. And I told y'all that's the reason why I don't upload a whole lot, because that is what I do. I am a VIP professional, which is a family violence intervention program provider. All abusers, men who are court ordered to take domestic violence classes because they were arrested due to a domestic violence incident or a domestic violence charge, they have to sign up with a family violence domestic program provider. That is what I do. So guys in his position, I'm dealing with all of that. I have guys, men, offenders in my program who have charges of strangulation, who have charges of battery, aggravated assault. These are the guys that are enrolled in my program, and they are stuck with me for 24 weeks. Okay? And basically, as a provider, I have to give these guys lessons in classes in which they have to use other strategies to conquer their anger, other than physically resorting to what they've always resorted to, which has been their hands, which has been physically trying to conquer a woman. So I deal with men like this every day, so nobody knows about this better than me. Okay, guys, and listen, it's a harsh reality for women. Women tend to look down on guys because they don't make a lot of money, because he works at Popeyes, or because he works in a warehouse, and they will turn him down and not want anything to do with him because of the amount of money he makes, or the fact that he doesn't have no celebrity status. So they will gravitate towards men who are successful, men who make a lot of money, and not understanding that his success is a separate entity from his character. Because you have guys who don't make a lot of money, but they don't beat on women. And let me start by saying this. It's not just rich and successful men that are abusive. You have men who are in the struggle even more so. They are in a higher running compared to successful men that have a high percentage in being physically abusive towards women. But the overall point is, you can't put nothing past nobody. And when it comes to these successful men, and not saying that all successful men, not saying that all millionaire men are abusers, I'm not even saying all men are abusers. Okay, they are also women who are physically abusive and combative as well. But for them, they don't use the term domestic violence. They call it intimate violence. They still try to soften it, even when women have the same problem. But statistically wise, it is men who have the higher percentage of being physically abusive. But like I said, we all know that's the majority, but that's not the minority. Okay, every man is not willing to risk his safety, his freedom, and his income and his peace of mind to keep a woman who obviously does not value him. Any real man who values himself and has integrity and has character, he knows his self-worth. He knows that even if she doesn't value him, he values himself enough to know that sooner than later he'll meet the right woman who will. He's not going to chase behind a woman who does not want him, who does not value him. But it's these emotional, egotistical men who cannot handle rejection, because it's this red pill persona that doesn't apply to all men. It's this delusional concept that because I'm a man, women are just supposed to value me even if I'm trash, even if I'm abusive. It's this toxic masculinity, this toxic red pill logic. Not all red pill is toxic. I'm talking about the ones who want men of his with his toxicity to celebrate being toxic. You have men who have channels that promote men to think that it's healthy to be toxic and abusive. Just like you have a lot of these women that's going around here also creating platforms to make women think it's acceptable for them to be drama filled, toxic, and bring a lot of chaos into a man's life. And no matter what, she should be treated and celebrated like a queen. Why? Not because she's a woman with morals and characters and substance, but basically because I'm just a black woman and I'm supposed to be treated like a queen just off the merit of that. Doesn't matter if I'm promiscuous. Doesn't matter if I have multiple baby daddies. It's the delusional concept in the black community that we are supposed to bow down and honor each other, no matter how dysfunctional or mentally unstable that black woman may be or that black man may be. We supposed to bow down and tolerate dysfunction and toxicity from one another. And no one is calling it out. You know what each side is doing? Each side is doing a blame, shame, and explain. It's the toxic black men that are blaming the toxic black women. And it's the toxic black women that are blaming the toxic black men. Because any black man or black woman that has any real morals or substance or value, they're not even going to buy into that red pill or bitter sisterhood logics. Because they have enough confidence within themselves that they don't have to learn how to be a man by listening to other men and podcasters who are struggling with daddy issues or mommy issues themselves. And you have black women who don't support the bitter sisterhood movement because they are confident in themselves as women. They value themselves enough to where they don't have to subscribe or be a part of the anti-black man clique in order to feel validated or they feel any type of self-worth through other black women who share the same level of bitterness as they do. But I digress. Getting back to this point here, right? This is my Unhinged series. Whenever there's any type of physical abuse that involves black men and black women, or regardless of who is the offender, I always speak on these type of issues like this because, again, it hits close home to me because this is what I do for a living. I deal with individuals, and yes, I have women in my class who are also registered that are also court mandated to take domestic violence because of their husbands calling the police on them. I've read numerous police reports of women who have pulled out weapons, pulled out knives, who have pulled out guns. So yes, I also deal with women, female offenders who have also committed domestic violence towards men. And this thing is very serious out here. And that's why a lot of these states, they're not playing the radio. They're making these individuals take classes. You got to complete these classes. These classes are 24 weeks. Each class is an hour and 30 minutes. And if you or anybody you know is court mandated to take domestic violence classes, you are more than welcome to reach out to me, email me, and I'll be glad to get you registered because I do all of my classes virtually. So no, you do not have to live in Georgia to attend a domestic violence class. Just check with your judge and make sure that your judge don't have a problem with you taking domestic violence classes out of the state of Georgia. And if your county or your jurisdiction don't have a problem with that, I would be glad to enroll you and get you registered. But the thing is this, this young man, his future is done. He opened a can of worms for himself, and I can only imagine his parents. I'm sure they're embarrassed. They're humiliated, and the issue is they're going to feel the funk because he had an opportunity to start generational wealth for him and his family. In addition, had he had more children in the future, from my understanding, he already has a child, so the chances of that child being able to benefit off of his legacy, that's not going to happen. So let's say even if he doesn't get any significant time behind this, let's say if he's still eligible just to get probation, whatever the judge decides to do it's not going to outweigh the fact that he tarnished his name, he tarnished his character. That name, Quay Davis, it holds no weight. It holds no value. And while a lot of y'all trusting y'all money, y'all trusting y'all riches, y'all trusting your wealth, two things you better trust in is, one is having a relationship with the man above, and definitely your character. Your name is everything. If people can't take your word, if you ain't got your word, you ain't got nothing. Like I said, Diddy is finding out the hard way. What's going to happen is most likely he may end up getting some time, and I very well hope that he does, but I won't be surprised if he does not. They may slap him on the wrist, being that no one got unalive, because let's face it, a lot of the court systems, the law within itself, they don't take incidents like this serious until somebody is unalive. A woman has to lose her life. Again, nobody believed Cassie, and nobody would have not believed Cassie if that footage didn't come out. This young man is really going to he's definitely he's going to lose everything. And in the midst of that, because he's very egotistical and he's very arrogant, I don't know if he's going to be able to really take full accountability for his actions. Even if he were to apologize, even if he were to take anger management classes, nobody's not going to be convinced. Even if he was to take family domestic violence classes, he can't persuade anybody to believe him at this point, because most people are going to feel like you're only doing this because you got caught. You're only taking these classes. You're only apologizing because you got exposed. Where he's going to end up, I'm not sure. If he's going to end up having to work at a warehouse, but because at some point he still have to work to make a living. I can't see him being granted this opportunity from anybody else. There's not going to be another football position. I mean, that opportunity, that's done. So basically, he's going to have to go back home, go back to his regular plain square life, a thug life, whatever he was before, he was granted this opportunity. And people are not going to let him live it down. People are not going to let him forget it. Let's just face it. Everybody don't be happy for you when you start elevating. So whatever haters he had prior, they going to really make a mockery of his fall from grace, and not that we care at this point, because he brought this upon himself. But just to keep it 100, people who was already kind of hating on him and was already against him just off the strength of his success, they are going to use his downfall as a reason to taunt him. And if he's that weak to the point to where he was attempting to take the life of a woman who rejected him, who didn't want him, I mean, how's he going to survive out here knowing the whole world is going to reject you? And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm more fearful for her and anybody, even more so now after this level of exposure, because this young man is very cocky, very arrogant. He was very full of himself, so he thought he had it in the bag. So my thing is, I mean, is he going to completely derail even more so now? Because if he couldn't handle a woman rejecting him, What is he going to do when everywhere he goes, people going to look at him with disgrace? Anytime he tries to open a door, people are going to reject him. Listen, I got people in my classes, they can't even get an apartment because of their charge. I got people who can't even get a job because of their charge. I just don't know where he's going to end up, but it's not looking good. And it's not good. And all of this is simply off of ego. This woman had only been knowing him for a month. Before I even know they dated, within a month, I'm thinking the way he was acting like they've been together for years. Then we find out he also allegedly physically assaulted the mother of his child. You only know her a month. I could imagine if she was one of those women who didn't have the courage, or had this not been exposed, she probably would have been too scared to leave him. Within a month, he wanted to control this woman and force this woman to stay with him. And because you're so used to winning at everything, and the one time you losing something, you're a sore loser. You can't handle it. That's the dangerous part about being an overachiever. Overachievers, when they get in a situation in which they got to take an L, they don't know how to take an L. Sometimes losing keeps you humble. If you're used to winning at everything and you're not used to taking losses, you will literally blow a head gasket. And the fact that she was a really pretty woman, that probably was, I don't know how his baby mama looked or whatever, but I'm assuming maybe he's not used to getting attention from women like that. Because he wasn't officially in the NFL. He was getting drafted into it. So it ain't like he been with multiple type of women. Maybe this was his first really pretty attractive woman who he was able to pull, and the fact that he thought he had her, where he wanted her to lose her, he couldn't handle that. You just have some men who came up kind of struggling with not just in poverty, with struggling parents, but you have some men that grew up struggling with women being attracted to them, women liking them. Some men struggle with low self-esteem, just like you have a lot of sisters out here who got low self-esteem. You got a lot of brothers out here who got low self-esteem. They wasn't that it guy coming up, all the ladies wasn't checking for them in high school, unless you was one of the popular type of guys, unless you was one of the best athletes, or the best basketball player, or the best wrestler. Unless you had something that stood out, some type of quality that stood out in high school or middle school to make women attracted to you, for the most part, you have a lot of these guys who struggle with women even being attracted to them. And then once they finally run into a little success, and now there's women checking for them, even though now he's in a better place, he's in a better position in which women are gravitating towards him because of his current success, it's still that little boy, that rejected little boy from their past that they still hold on to, which makes them still resentful towards women. And you would think, okay, now that he's a grown man and he has all his success, he's making all of this money now. A lot of guys run into success, but they don't get past that little rejected boy syndrome. To me, like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is one of those type of guys. Women was not checking for him. He was the short, dark-skinned dude in high school. He was the funny guy, but women wasn't checking for him. He might have had one or two girls that kind of had some interest in him, but nobody was checking for him like that. So finally, when he did get into the success of taking his hurt and pain He used the hurt, the pain, and the rejection of being an unwanted dude, and used that pain as a way of becoming a comedian, becoming comical. And it did bring him into success, to where he became this successful millionaire comedian, actor, who was not used to all the attention coming from poverty, coming from being the young black boy that was rejected, that a lot of females didn't really like in that manner. And now he's this full-grown man with all this success. He got all these women coming at him. That's why he has cheated in both of his marriage multiple times. You have men who grew up and struggled with self-esteem, and a young man who had self-esteem issues during his youth, and now is a full-grown man with success, and now he has all of these opportunities and options and varieties to choose from. He don't know how to handle it. Either he'll jeopardize that by messing around with multiple women like Kevin Hart did, or either he'll resort to abusing the woman who is willing to be with him. And that's what happened with this guy here in this case. He probably didn't have much coming up, and he was finally in a space in which he was arriving to become this really successful athlete. And he was on his winning streak. But the problem was, he thought that he could take that winning streak and apply it to everything. Just because you are successful over here, it does not mean you're not going to have some failures. And the biggest thing, it was his ego was bruised. Who are you to leave me? Who are you to choose to leave me when I'm this successful, soon-to-be NFL player? I got all of these opportunities that's a notch under my belt, that's stroking my ego, and you're going to tell me within 1 month of us being together that you see some red flags and you don't want me? That made him angry, because in his mind he felt like he was the prize. Who are you to say you don't want me? Anytime you meet a man or a woman who thinks they're the prize, watch the hell out. Meeting a person who think they the prize, you're going to be in for a surprise when they try to unalive you because you break down their ego by letting them know that I don't want you no more. I don't want to be with you. An overachiever or an entitled person cannot handle rejection. But other than that, y'all, he's going to lose everything, and hopefully he don't lose his mind. Hopefully this becomes a humbling experience for him, and he just moves on and he accepts his losses as a man, as a person. Hopefully he don't spiral all the way out of control and try to come after this girl, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, they look at it this way: you should have just took the ass whipping. That way I could have still had my career, I could have still had my life. Hopefully he does not blame her, because most abusers are narcissists and they normally blame the victim. Like I said, I deal with this regularly. You'll be surprised how many guys come in my classes and I ask them the same version. What happened? Describe the situation that took place that led to you getting arrested for a domestic violence charge. When I tell y'all, their version is totally different from what I see on the police report. If I had not seen the police report, their stories is nothing like. They'll say, I just pushed, I just shoved. When I read the police reports, the victim had a broken rib cage, had a broken jaw. But verbally, he tells me it was just a push and shove. Now, I will state, because I did have a part with law enforcement, I had a brief career with law enforcement, and the law is not always right. In some cases, they do take the side of these women, and they automatically make the man the aggressor, when in some instances the woman is the aggressor. But for the most part, most of these guys who come in my class, they already got a history of beating women. But in this instance, I didn't do it. Or the biggest thing is alcohol. A lot of them are substance abuse users. Some of them are drug addicts, and all of these other things also contribute. And some of them, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't get high. The only thing they get high on is being abusive. You just have some men, they don't have to drink or smoke or be under the influence to want to beat the hell out of a woman. They get on demon time, and they get egotistical, especially if they got good jobs, they make a lot of money, or a lot of people respect them. They got neighbors and everybody who look at them like they kings on the outside, and have no idea of their personal demons behind closed doors, that he likes to slap his wife, he likes to beat his wife, he likes to sexually assault his wife. And they don't believe it until there's footage. It has to be valid proof, and it's sad that as women these days, they just can't take our word. But it's because of women who have lied, which is the reason that society doesn't take our word. And it's sad because women who have really been abused, their cases get overlooked. And you have some women out here who will lie and make up stories and say that they're being abused just so they can garner sympathy, and a man lose his career, lose his livelihood, lose his peace of mind and his freedom over a woman who was bitter and scorned and lied on them. So it does happen. There's been a lot of men who have been falsely accused because of a woman being bitter and lying. But in this case, that was not even nowhere near the situation. The woman was trying to get away from him. And anybody who sits up here and justify this, you are mentally disturbed. You need to take one of my classes. After you see that video and you can make excuses for him, something is definitely wrong with your cranium. Let that have been your daughter, your niece, your grandchild. How would you have seen it then? Anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I'm also going to be discussing this matter on my other channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge, because I also want to address this with the ladies, definitely. So if you haven't already subscribed, ladies, to Mocha's Ladies Lounge, make sure y'all subscribe over there, because I'm going to also discuss this situation over there as well. But anyway, y'all, it is late. It is 11:16 here where I'm at, and y'all probably see it in my eyes. I am shot the hell out. I am so tired. Okay, I feel like I've been a streetwalker standing on the corner all night. That's just how tired I am. But anyway, leave y'all commentary below. Let me know what y'all think. Please hit the like button. I would gladly appreciate that before y'all leave. Anyway, y'all, definitely I'm glad this young lady is alive to tell her story, and definitely my empathy to all the parties involved, meaning my empathy to her as a woman and to her family. I'm sure her dad, her parents are very angry, and I have empathy for his family as well, because they really could have made it if he would have did the right thing, and he ruined everything for them and himself. But anyway, y'all take care, and I'll be hollering at y'all soon. Be blessed.